We're live on the One and Only Allied Rivals podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just forgot how to...
Allied Rivals. Rumor has it Caedmon still has yet to pay the MLB the fine for plunking me in that game.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we're chilling. He was wearing... I had the right with that hat he was wearing.
Oh, so. Of course. Sure. Everybody says that. Of course you have the right.
Yeah, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Allied Rivals once again. A.J. Herschel is right there. There
we go.
I'm Caedmon Bauer, and we're answering today's AFC big questions. But before we do... AJ, how you doing?
I'm doing good. After last night, good to be back on the horn again. Still kind of sad the Olympics are over. Had so much fun watching way too much of that this year. Didn't realize how much I had missed it. So, yeah, doing good. How about yourself, man?
Yeah, I definitely missed the Olympics. I especially watched a lot of swimming and track and some diving too. Those are so fun. I'm gonna miss that.
Mm-hmm. But we get more Olympics in less than a year. Yeah,
I know.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. All right, well, AJ, let's get into it. Yesterday we did the NFC's biggest questions. Today it is time for the AFC. AJ, what division you want to start with?
Let's go AFC South. Why not start with a weird one?
Yeah, all right. Well, let's start with the Colts. Let's go with that. All AJ, right. What do you think? Can Carson Wentz get the Colts to the Super Bowl?
I think he definitely can. I mean, we all knew Phillip Rivers wasn't quite himself when he was with the Colts last year, and they still did well. Early playoff exit. Jonathan Taylor is going to get an actual full year of playing this time. And yes, I'm well aware that Carson Wentz is currently injured, but best timeline, he gets back by week 1. Worst timeline, who knows when he's out until. He'll be out until midseason. Yeah. So it would be interesting to see Jacob Eason take some snaps as well. But the defense is still just as good. Granted, they had a little bit of trouble with the offensive line this season, losing Anthony Costanzo. They got Eric Fisher now. They got Jack Doyle back, and the defense is still just as good as it was last year. So I think they definitely have enough to make a deep playoff run. I could see them making an AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
But beating somebody like the Bills or Chiefs, I don't know if their offense is going to be high-powered enough for that. What do you think, Cade?
Yeah, for real. I mean, I'm hoping that their offensive line doesn't break up like it did last year. I think oh wait, what am I thinking? Sorry. This is not the Eagles. This is the Colts.
We go. Yes.
I'm sorry. I just had a breakdown right there.
I had to do a double take for a second.
I always think that Carson Wentz is like old, but I just look him up and he's 28 years old.
I know,
it's like,
right?
You know what? He's still in his prime, or I mean, he should be at least. And he definitely has the capability to. He still has the arm. I think he can move. I mean, I'm hoping he can move after how much he got banged up last year, but behind that Eagles O-line, I mean, nothing could be worse than that. They had like 15 different combinations on their offensive line. It was the worst. He was
going to set the quarterback hit record after like 10 weeks.
Yeah, for real. And now Carson Wentz doesn't have to throw 8 touchdowns a game to win because he has a defense. So there's definitely some better teams like the Buccaneers, Rams, Packers that I feel like are just way better than the Colts. What am I saying? I'm sorry. I keep thinking it's the Eagles. The Chiefs.
There we go.
It. I'm sorry. I'm still in the Eagles mindset. But I think they could make a run, and I think they'll definitely make the playoffs. Maybe win 1 or 2 games. But yeah, they could. Carson Wentz could take them.
Yep.
All right, AJ. Next team. What's the next team?
You choose. All you.
All me, man. Oh man. All right. Well, let's go with The Jaguars, man. We're going to see some Trevor Lawrence. He's going to be starting week 1. How do you think he's going to do? You think he gets the win or what?
Man. Okay, so I'm not expecting the Jaguars to do much. Let me go ahead and get that out of the way. You're having a first-year quarterback come in. You're having James Robinson or Travis Etienne, maybe both of them. I don't know what they're going to do there. The defense still isn't great. Congratulations. You have Josh Allen and C.J. Henderson, and now they got Shaq Griffin, which is good, but it's definitely nowhere near what a lot of the other teams that they're going to be playing against are locked up on defense. They have the weirdest wide receiver room I've ever seen in my life with J. Chark, MJJ, Laviska Shenault, Philip Dorsett. It makes no sense to me.
It's going to be fun for Lawrence, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a weird team, but if they were going to steal some games, they're in the division to do that. The Titans are not invulnerable. The Texans are a mess. So late in the season, I could see them pulling off a couple of upsets, but it's a year one rookie quarterback, rough team. I'm not expecting much except for some good offensive prowess.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Trevor Lawrence will win in week 1. He's playing the Texans, who might be like the worst team in the league. Who knows,
it's a good way to start your season.
We'll talk. Yeah, for real. Give the Trevor Lawrence some confidence that he just beat the worst team in the NFL. Hey, that's better than nothing. I mean, I could see him winning his first couple games. I mean, he doesn't have a really hard schedule. He's not playing a whole ton of last year's playoff teams, so he could do fine. I'm thinking they're probably not going to have a playoff, go to the playoffs, but
no, I doubt it.
It's a rookie quarterback.
Yeah. Do you think Tebow makes the roster?
If Tebow makes the roster as a tight end, I think he will. I think he will. They don't have a bunch of great tight ends.
Yeah.
He has hands. He has decent speed. So, why not?
We think he has hands. Let's keep in mind, he's been playing baseball for the last 3 years.
Yeah. But, hey, why not? Why not put him on, man? Their receiving, their tight ends aren't anything special. There aren't going to be, 2 better tight ends than him, it looks like. So, and everyone loves him. So, why not put him on? All right, AJ. Well, let's go to, as we were talking about, the Texans. Yeah. AJ, are they going to be the worst team in the league? How can they avoid it?
They're going to be the worst team in the league. I'm going to go ahead and confidently say that. The only team I think can challenge them is the Lions. I think they're going to be the worst. They're going to be the worst. I am sorry, David Culley. I'm sorry, Lovie Smith. You're going to have such a rough year with Brandon Cooks and Anthony Miller. And there's still the whole situation with who's going to be starting quarterback week 1. That's still not 100% sorted out as the year gets started.
Tyrod Taylor.
The best thing I think on their entire team is their running back room. You've got David Johnson, who put up a decent year last year behind a very mediocre offensive line. You've got Rex Burkhead now for goal line carries. Mark Ingram's a veteran. And then Phillip Lindsay, who has always been the most underrated running back in the NFL. This dude puts up 1,000-yard seasons, and everybody puts him as the 20th best running back in the NFL. And he was doing that in Denver. So I think their running back room is going to be fine. Their defense is just old and wrecked. They have Vernon Hargraves and Shaq Lawson. That's about it. So this, I think, is going to be the worst team in football.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to agree with you, AJ. There's no way. Unless the Lions just don't win. I could see the Texans, possible. Yeah, I could literally see the Texans going 1-16, 2-15. There's just they just have. They don't necessarily have an easy. They don't have a hard schedule, but they're just not going to win the games. It looks like.
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor possibly starting at quarterback. I don't know what he looks like. Who knows? He could surprise us all. Receivers, it's just not exciting. You got Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, but there's no Hopkins anymore. There's no Will Fuller anymore.
Yep. So you just don't know what it's going to be like. And even if Tyrod Taylor is somewhat good, it's just going to be no one to throw to. It's going to be all running backs. There's no defense. They might have the worst defense in the league this year. So
yeah.
All right, AJ. Yeah, it's not gonna be. But AJ, let's talk about the Titans. They're an interesting team.
Yeah.
Last year they were all offense, no defense.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Can they build up an offense to go along with King Henry and Tannehill and the receiving core they got?
Oh yeah. Well, I think you mean build up a defense. Is what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their offense is great. Let's go. We don't really need to talk about that much. Sure, they lost Jonnu Smith. Anthony Ferguson, I think, will be fine, but you now have Julio Jones as your red zone target. You've got A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry. We all know their offense is going to be really good. Their offensive line is going to be fine. But, yeah, their defense is going to be really interesting. They went out and got Bud Dupree, very good linebacker, which they desperately needed. They drafted Caleb Farley, really good cornerback out of Vatech. Going to be really interesting to see how he does. Janoris Jenkins locked him up for multiple years. They have Kevin Bayard, who's a fine safety, but I still don't think that front seven is going to be that powerful. You got Bud Dupree, Jaylen Brown, and Rashaan Evans. It's a fine linebacking core, but I think they're going to get shredded on the run game so far. Run game this year, which I don't think is going to be good when they got to go to Indy and play Jonathan Taylor twice this season.
Yeah,
I think their offense is going to be great. Their defense is definitely, I think, better than last year, but I don't think it's going to take it very far in the playoffs against a team like the Chiefs or the Bills or the Colts or anybody with a very above average offense.
Yeah. What did I say? Did I say they need to make an offense at the beginning? Oh, whatever.
Yeah. You just said offense. It was fine.
Okay, the Titans have maybe they probably have a top 5 offense right now. I mean, you got Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill. I mean, they're looking really good, and their defense just, I don't know. It seemed like every game they played last year, both teams were scoring 40. And that's a problem because really their offense was out there the whole time, and you want to avoid injuries.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just want to give Tannehill a break sometimes, which he did not get last year. So
yeah.
And I mean, they're in a division where they could still win without the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Texans, Jaguars. They're probably out of it. And who knows? Carson Wentz could stink up the Colts whole season, or he could make it a great season, and he could, like you were saying, he could make the Super Bowl.
He's back with Frank Reich again.
He's back, man. He's back. So, hey, we got Brett D in the comments section.
What's
Bro, look at the weather
up?
for practice. It storms the whole time. Yeah, I got football practice today, and it is storms the whole time.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Oh, dear. JT is a beast.
Oh, yeah.
He went to Wisconsin. Oh, yeah. Dude, we know JT's a beast. Anyone who comes from Wisconsin is a beast. And then Brett D says Carson Wentz is hurt. Yeah.
He still could come back week 1, though. His timeline is anywhere from 5 to 12 weeks from a week ago, so we don't know. Yeah,
he's probably not going to be out longer than week 5 is what they
at the most. Yeah.
At the most. So, all right, AJ. Let's go to the AFC West.
Let's do it.
Let's start with the Chiefs, man. So every year, whatever I always say, it's going to be the Super Bowl hangover. You like to call it the curse for the 49ers.
Because there's a difference between getting injured and losing. They're two different things.
All right. but whatever. AJ, can the Chiefs avoid the hangover or curse?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think they definitely can. First of all, rebuilt their entire offensive line through free agency. Their weak point in the Super Bowl. They signed Orlando Brown. They got Orlando Brown to trade with the Ravens. Great. Kyle Long isn't healthy again, but we all knew that was going to happen. They got Joe Thuney, locked him up for 5 more years, rebuilt their entire O-line. So that, I think, is going to be great. They got Jerick McKinnon, who is a very underrated running back, I think. He gets injured pretty often, but he's explosive. He's quick. I think he's going to be good on passing downs. They've got CEH who's coming back. Most of their wide receiver core is coming back with the exception of Sammy Watkins. And their defense is still, for the most part, locked up, depending on what happens with Frank Clark. We'll see about that. But they still got Chris Jones. Daniel Sorensen is still a beast. They still have Tyrann Mathieu. I think they're gonna be great. I think they're gonna be a very good team as usual. They rebuilt their O-line, which is their main problem. I think they avoid a hangover, just like the Patriots normally did. What do you think?
Yeah, and I mean, I think they, if any team can, it's the Chiefs, because you look at their roster and little changed, and what did change seems for the better. The then I'm kind of looking back at like different teams like the Panthers who lost in what was it, like 2016, and not a whole ton changed from 2016 to 17, I believe it was. And they ended up being one of the worst teams in the NFL. And I mean, all the power rankings were saying, oh, Panthers 2, number 3, like anywhere between 1 and 5, really. And they had like one of the worst seasons ever. And I mean, I don't think that'll happen behind Patrick Mahomes, but hey, who knows, man? The curse might get him.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Yeah, well, me and AJ were trying to think of question for the Raiders, and it was not easy. AJ thought of this. Did all of the Raiders' free agents moves do enough to actually challenge for the playoffs?
Playoffs, yes, I think. Playoff run? No, absolutely not. I think they got some good signings in free agency. Yannick Ngakoue for 2 years. Gerald McCoy's old, but we'll see how that works out. Casey Hayward, one of my favorite cornerbacks in the NFL. They stole John Brown from Buffalo, and they got Kenyon Drake to back up Josh Jacobs, so now you can have a 2 running back tandem instead of putting it all on Jacobs. And Alex Leatherwood out of Alabama. Not the best round 1 draft pick in my opinion, but hey, maybe he'll prove us all wrong. It's really their wide receiving core I'm a little bit worried about, but Brown, Willie Snead, Henry Ruggs, I think it'll be okay. They look like a 7th seed to me. That's about all I got for the Raiders. What do you think, Cade?
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, the Raiders are just the weird team. Like, and that's why it was so hard to think of a question. I think we said it last year, and it just feels like they always are. Derek Carr, I know how he plays. I know how Willie Snead and Henry Ruggs play, so I don't think I'm going to be too surprised. Josh Jacobs is good, and I mean, if Derek Carr for some reason can't move the ball, then I feel like Josh Jacobs can take over for at least a little while. You just don't want to worry. You just don't want him to get all banged up because
and that's why they got Kenyon, because they know Jacobs gets banged up.
Yep. And Drake is a really underrated backup.
Yeah, he's good.
Like he doesn't get enough snaps. I feel like he could be really good under the right coaching, and this might be. So I think the Raiders will make the playoffs. I don't think they'll win a game. They could win one. They could, but I don't know. Their defense just doesn't seem together, like at all. Nothing. So, AJ, you got anything else on the Raiders?
Definitely not. No? I'm sorry, Raiders fans.
Not.
Look, they signed John Gruden for 10 years, so he's got like 6 more years left to unfurl his grand plan. So we'll see how it works out.
Yeah. Well, AJ, this is what I've been thinking about. I mean, I think a lot of people have been looking at this with the Broncos.
Yeah.
They still don't know who their starting quarterback is going to be.
We still don't know.
It could be Bridgewater, could be Drew Lock. I mean, no one knows, but who do you think it's going to be week 1?
Dude, I have no idea. I know a lot of people said Bridgewater was going to be the starter after they traded for him, but then apparently our guy Drew Lock has been doing well in camp. This is a really weird team. They have Cortland Sutton's going to be back, who I love. Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler again. Weird offensive line with Garrett Bowles and Bobby Massey, Noah Fant if he can stay healthy, but I think I'd prefer Bridgewater over Locke. I think I prefer the veteran presence he hasn't been outstanding. Let's make that clear. But with the Vikings, Saints, he's been good. And I mean, I feel like that's where the Broncos are aiming for. You're playing in a division where the Raiders can steal games, the Chargers can steal games, and the Chiefs are going to dominate. So I definitely think they are the weaker link in the division. But, I mean, what are you going to do? They get Von Miller back, though. They stole Kyle Fuller. So I do think their defense will be back. Patrick Surtain, Justin Simmons, Kyle Fuller, Bradley Chubb, Von Miller. Their defense, I think, is going to be a lot better than people expect. But I'm not expecting much out of their offense.
Yeah. I think the Broncos defense is good enough, and I mean they're not top 5, but they're definitely at the front of the pack, I would say. I feel like their offense just won't be together. Like you have Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton, and they're Jerry Jeudy especially. They're good receivers.
Oh yeah, and Sutton was a 1,000-yard receiver before he got injured.
Yeah. I mean they're not like top. They're not the best receiver. They're not like your Julio Jones or Devontae Adams or whatnot, but they're good and they work together well.
Oh,
and a lot of it's on the quarterback, and that's why it's so hard for coaches to decide who to put up, who to start in week 1, because I don't know, man. I don't think their talent is too different right now. And Bridgewater's a veteran. He's pretty old, I think, what I remember, but it doesn't seem like he gets a ton of wins. Like
he's 28.
He's 20. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It just feels like he's been around for so long because he's bounced from team to team.
That's true. I mean, I just feel like I watched him with Adrian Peterson. I feel like it was just forever.
Well, don't forget, Adrian Peterson's still playing.
Yeah, that's so weird. It's just okay, whatever. But I mean, I think defense is good enough. It's the quarterback. We were talking about who do I think is going to start. I think it'll be Drew Lock. I think it'll be Drew Lock.
Yeah.
All right. Last team in the AFC West is the Chargers.
Yep.
And this is going to be interesting because the Chiefs are here in the same division, and you got the Broncos, and I mean, who knows? The Raiders might make the playoffs too. So this division is going to be tight for that second spot. So AJ, I mean, or maybe can the Chiefs? Can they surpass the Chiefs and actually have a full season that's good instead of just the first half?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Chargers definitely had a big problem with the second playing full games. They would start out great and then just completely bomb in the second half. I think this team is going to surprise a lot of people. The Chargers, I mean, Justin Herbert's going into his second year. You still got Austin Eckler. Justin Jackson, I like him, but that's partially because he was from Northwestern. The wide receiving room is interesting at best, I think. Keenan Allen, beast. Mike Williams, Tyron Johnson, But their offensive line is shockingly really good. Brian Bulaga, Corey Linsley. They drafted my man Rashawn Slater. Didn't allow a sack at Northwestern in his final year. That's a good offense. I think this offense is going to shock a lot of people. And their defense has some players up there. I'm not going to lie. They got Joey Bosa. They got Asante Samuel Jr. still. They got Chris Harris Jr. who's getting older. And they have Derwin James who's going to be back healthy as well. So I think this is a team that's definitely going to have to score a lot more points than they did last year. They were a very methodical offense last year. I think they need to start pushing the ball, up-tempo offense, because I don't know if their defense is going to be able to hold up down the stretch. But I think they're an interesting team that can make a playoff push, and I really like their offense. And Jared Cook. I forgot about that. They got Jared Cook as a tight end, and they drafted Trey McKitty, who has been going crazy in training camp. So I think this is a good roster, especially on offense. Yep. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I think Jared Cook, great addition. Just one more guy to take the ball from Herbert. Yep. And a red zone target. And a red zone target. Dude, he was – I remember, I mean, both with the Packers, Saints, and all the other 50 teams he's played with. He's a really great red zone target. But the big thing is that Justin Herbert is going to has had another off season to learn, watch other quarterbacks, watch more film. And that's a big thing because he was a rookie last year and he had a great rookie season. But this year should be better. I mean, Jared Cook helps a ton. But just also every practice, film, I think he's going to be a lot better, and I think that's going to make their offense a lot better. Absolutely. They finished third in the division last year. Yeah. And, I mean, I could still see that happening again. I mean, Chiefs, I'm thinking are going to take it unless, hey, hangover, baby. Yeah, but also the Chargers did have a bunch of injuries, though. Eckler went out. Yeah, Bosa was banged up. Allen had hurt his ankle second half of the year. Yeah. They were weak by the time they hit week 17. Yeah. But I mean, I think the Chargers could make second, or if the Chiefs deal with the traditional hangover, they could take the division. Dang. So they could, man. I mean, the Raiders, I think we're thinking 7 seed, but I think the Chargers both the West could take both wild card spots. That's true. I wouldn't be that surprised. Yeah. I wouldn't be that surprised. You mean 3 wild cards? Right. There's 3 wild cards. 3. Sorry, my bad. I know. I'm still getting used to it too. It's so weird. And then 17 games. I hate it. We're gonna ignore that. AFC North.
The Steelers, AJ. The Steelers, this is going to be interesting. They got a new offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's going to be different. Big Ben's really old now. I don't know. Can their offensive coordinator fix the problems they had last year?
Maybe. I mean, he's been in the Steelers organization before. He's their QB coach. I don't know. Their wide receiving room is good. Deontay, Claypool, Juju, James Washington wants a trade. They got Najee Harris, my favorite running back in the entire draft. Love Travis Etienne, but Najee Harris has vision like I've never seen in my life before. Still got Eric Ebron. Tried to rebuild their offensive line. They got Try Turner. I think they can, but their offense needs to stop being so one-sided like last year. I think Najee Harris is a good ad. But last year they were the worst running team in the entire NFL. They could not run the football to save their lives. And part of that was due to injuries. Part of it was due to an old offensive line. But they need to establish the run early because a team with that good of a defense to carry them for 11 weeks to be undefeated for that long, just give them a running game. They could have stolen more games. But by the time they got to the playoffs, defense is tired. No run game. Everybody figured them out. They need to be more than just a one-dimensional offense.
Yeah, and that's the real problem. They had no run game.
Yeah.
And it was just sad because the Steelers could have been in the Super Bowl. They could have been if they, like you said, they wouldn't have been so one-dimensional. And I mean, Najee Harris, he's a rookie. I think he'll produce a decent run game. I mean, I like Najee. I was watching him during the I've watched some of their training camp highlights and stuff, and he looks like a good guy. And something I noticed was his vision. And I looked at his college ball and his vision. And I mean, it's good. And that's a really important thing for a back. And, you just gotta watch film, learn the playbook as fast as you can. I don't know. I'm hoping the Steelers are the right fit for him because it would be cool to see Big Ben go to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, especially as like one last ride type of thing. Too.
Yeah. Last dance. I think they can fix the offensive problems. They just need to. The big thing is start every game with the run.
Yeah,
because that's where everything starts. You get the run open, linebackers start stepping up, and then you get the passing game open. And they have good receivers, so just do it, man. Just try it. It's and AJ, this is a really good division. So
it's brutal.
I mean the West and the North. I guess I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking, but I mean you got the Ravens too, and you got the Bengals, Browns. AJ, let's talk about the Bengals.
Oh boy.
There's been a lot of conversation about Joe Burrow. Like, how good is he? Can he get the Bengals to the playoffs in this division?
Not this year.
And I mean, then you look at their offensive line and you just say no.
Yeah.
Because it's atrocious.
Yeah, there's no way they make the playoffs this year. Burrow did incredible for the kind of situation he was put in. Second only to Carson Wentz, but maybe even worse because he actually got injured due to his horrendous offensive line. They didn't rebuild it that much. I mean, they got Riley Reef on a one-year deal.
But that's, not enough.
In Spain. And they drafted Jamar Chase, who I get it. He's an incredible playmaker, 1,000-yard-plus receiver, absolutely a beast in college. And so now you've got a wide receiver room of Boyd, Higgins, and Chase. And not only are they good, they're also young and going to be there for the franchise for a while. But is Burrow going to be able to hang on that long because his offensive line is not nearly as strong as it should be? And also their defense is still just it's not great. They got Trey Hendrickson and that's it. So good luck, guys. Joe Mixon, try not to get injured this year. They're not a playoff team, especially not in this division, but they'll be fun to watch offensively, I hope.
I'm gonna agree. I don't think they're a playoff team, even though given some hype with Joe Burrow. I think if they were in the NFC East, they might win that division. But guys, this is the AFC North, and this is a good division. And I think Joe Burrow, if he had a better, if everything was bumped up just a notch, he could do so much better, especially his receiving core. But just everything stinks.
Everything.
Not everything.
Everything.
But I just feel like nothing.
Mixon can't run behind that garbage line.
Okay, yeah, I feel you. But I feel like everything needs to be bumped up a notch in order for them to, I don't know, make the playoffs, because, I don't know, they have 6 games with Steelers, Bengals, Browns, and they could win, they could split, they could lose all of them. I mean, I don't know. Bengals are just the team below. Ravens. Yeah. Okay. So
the Ravens are the Shakespeare tragedy of the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They're gonna have to. I don't know, AJ. What do they have to do to overcome what happened last year in the playoffs?
Not just last year, but also the year before. Oh my goodness!
I guess.
The Ravens are the team that just can't get over the hump when it comes to going on a playoff run. Oh, man. Their defense is still going to be great. They got Derek Wolfe. They still have Calais Campbell. Marlon Humphrey. I don't need to read off their entire defense. Marcus Peters. Their defense is great. They got Patrick Queen, who was a star in year 1, is only going to advance year 2. They got Mark Andrews. They have J.K. Dobbins for a full year now with Gus Edwards backing him up. But I think the main problem, Caedmon, I've been saying this for 3 straight years, their wide receiver room isn't great. It's Hollywood Brown is a fine number 1, fine.
Yeah.
But Sammy Watkins is like, I saw this joke of which would you rather have in the first game of the season, DeAndre Hopkins or week 1 Sammy Watkins? Which would you rather have?
For real.
And so, like, I don't like their wide receiver room. They have Bateman, they have Miles Boykin. It's fine. But for a team that wants to make a deep playoff push, you need to be able to have weapons downfield. And people have criticized Lamar. People have criticized the tight end play. Their offensive line is still great. They have Kevin Zeitler now. They have Alejandro Villanueva now. They have Ronnie Staley now. They traded and I'm blanking on the guy's name, Orlando Brown away, and they're fine. But I just wish they had a better wide receiver room, Cade. That's my one thing.
Yeah, it's going to be hard because, I mean, I saw something. It's weird. I saw Sammy Watkins' post. He said, we have one of the best receiving cores in the NFL. And it's like, dude, okay.
No, off the top of your head, list which ones are better.
Buccaneers, Packers, Chiefs, probably. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head. But those are the Chargers. I was going to say
Odell, Landry, Titans, A.J. Brown, and
Julio. And Julio. Oh yeah,
Giants even Kenny Golladay and 15 other dudes.
And that's so weird. Yeah, and then the Rams. The Rams even have a better one. Like, and the Bills. Like I can just keep going.
This is half the NFL.
There you go. You have a better receiving core than maybe about 5 teams in the NFL. Good job. One of the best. All right, man. Well, let's finish up this division with the Browns.
Yeah.
AJ, I mean, the Browns are looking like a really complete roster.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what do they need to do differently to get to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think Nick Chubb's going to be back. I think having Odell back is definitely going to help. Losing, I mean, he hasn't been quite the same. We all know that with the Browns, but he's still an incredible player. I think that'll definitely help come playoff time. Their defense is still going to be incredible, and they got Jadeveon Clowney in free agency and Greg Newsome, one of the top corners in the draft out of Northwestern. Dude, their defense got better.
Yeah,
I don't know how. Their defense got better. They're going to be healthy. I think last year it was a tough game against the Chiefs team that honestly could have gone either way. But they got better over the offseason. I think it's just constant improvement, keep everybody healthy, and they make a run of the Super Bowl. They're my pick to win the division this year.
Yeah, I agree. They're my pick to win the division this year too. And I have one thing to say for how they can make the Super Bowl. You know what? They got to pray that the Chiefs steal with the hangover. All right, last division, AFC East. We got the Patriots, AJ. AJ, this is the other quarterback situation. We got Mac Jones, Cam Newton, and I don't know, AJ. Who's your take? If you're the coach, who do you pick to start week 1?
Cam Newton, because he knows the offense better. He's been with the team for a year. And I don't like starting rookie quarterbacks week 1. I don't think that's really good for him to just throw him into NFL action first game of the year. And can we point out that the Patriots have the weirdest looking offense in football? Damian Harris, James White, who I love, Jacoby Myers, Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, Jonnu Smith, and Hunter Henry. Like, this is like they basically got a team that they opened out of a gold pack from like Madden Mobile or something like that. And this is the roster they got.
For real.
I mean, I think Cam Newton starts. I think he doesn't get enough credit for how he played last year. Yes, his passing was not very good. But he didn't have the easiest schedule. He had to learn a notoriously difficult Patriots offense. Everybody knows it's the notorious hardest one in the league, arguably, probably. And he had to learn it over a weird COVID year where you didn't get to practice in person and didn't have training camp. So I think he'll be better this time around. The team offense is better, I guess. And remember, half of the Patriots defense opted out last year anyway. So they get all of them back. So I think the Patriots are going to be better. Do they think they make a playoff? I don't think so. I think Cam's going to be better. I'd start him week 1. I think it's going to be an interesting team, but you never know.
Yeah, and 8 players on their defense last year. Not all of them were starters, but 8 players who had an impact on the game opted out just from their defense. And it was just that's just too much for Bill Belichick to handle.
And they still went 8-8. They still went 8-8.
That's so impressive. I mean, Cam Newton, I'm hoping he doesn't throw 30 interceptions because that would stink. I mean, if he's playing like that, they're going to put Mac Jones in after a few games.
Yeah.
But then I've seen a lot of headlines from training camp and just a bunch of stuff saying Mac Jones is getting the bulk of the reps, and I'm assuming that means he's throwing better. Maybe they just want him to get
accustomed to the offense.
Get accustomed to the offense. So I don't know, AJ. If I were Bill Belichick, I would start Newton in week 1, and I think I would try him for 3 games. And if he's working out, keep going. But if not, I think week 4 is when you would switch over to Mac.
Interesting. Yeah.
All right, let's breeze through these last 3. We got the Jets and AJ. Do they have a running back?
Do they have a team? I'm sorry. That was rude. No, they don't have a running they don't have a running back. What, Ty Johnson, Tevin Coleman, and Lamico Pirine?
Who are they?
I mean, I know who they are, but I can't tell you that much about them other than Tevin Coleman because he actually went to 2 Super Bowls. But, it's not just their running backs. It's their wide receiving core. Zach Wilson's going to get to throw to Corey Davis, Denzel Mims, and Jamison Crowder.
Nice.
This is a mediocre team. I'm sorry. They got their offensive line, I think, is good. Now, the one thing I do want to give the Jets credit for, they're building an offensive line. That is something that they absolutely deserve credit for. Elijah Vera Tucker, they drafted him. They got Mekhi Becton back. Got Moses Morgan in free agency. They're actually setting up Zach Wilson the way I would prefer to set up my rookie quarterback, getting your O-line first so your quarterback has room to succeed. Wide receiver room isn't great. That's fine. Work on that next year. It's a work in progress. So I do want to give credit that they're doing well on their O-line.
Yep, and I was going to say the same thing. O-line is really the big thing they've been working on this offseason. Just protecting Zach Wilson obviously seems really important. Wide receiver, they don't really have any. I mean, I know obviously who Tevin Coleman is for the running backs with the Niners and all that, but yeah, it's just not looking like a solid offense, and it's just too bad Zach Wilson is going to start with that offense.
Yeah.
Because it's really just going to be all him, it seems like. So yeah. And their defense isn't really any better. So yeah, move on.
Yeah, and we'll see how Robert Saleh transforms that D because it feels like a HGTV project. Like, I'm Robert Saleh and I'm coming in to fix the worst NFL defenses. Like, I feel like that's what it's looking like to me.
Yeah, for real. All right, man. 2 teams left. We got the Bills and the Dolphins. AJ, take your pick. Which one?
Let's do the Dolphins first.
All right, Dolphins. We saw Tua last year. He looked good for a couple games, then he just kind of dropped off for the most part. So,
Mhm.
AJ, is Tua the answer this year? Or? Yeah, well,
I don't know. I genuinely have no idea about Tua other than it's weird to see him throw left-handed compared to everybody else, but also kind of cool. But I genuinely have no big thought on this team and how they're going to perform. I like their coach a lot. I like Brian Flores. They also have one of the best wide receiver rooms in the league, in my opinion. They got Devontae Parker as X. You got Will Fuller as your deep ball receiver, and then Jalen Waddle and Mike Gesicki as a red zone target.
mm-hmm.
That's really good.
Yeah.
You also got Myles Gaskin, surprise stud at the end of the year last year, and they got what's his name, Isaiah Wilson, in a trade with the Titans. So I think this is a good offense. I think it really does come down to Tua Tagovailoa, and I have no idea how he's going to perform.
Yeah, that's the problem, because I feel like he could be looking like a Russell Wilson type season. Every year starts off so good. Oh, he's going to be the MVP, and maybe not MVP for Tua, but then he just drops off. And last year was that he just didn't get to throw the ball. It just all went to Chris Carson second half of the season. But I could see something very similar happening with Tua.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it might not be that it's all run game in the second half, but it might just be he just doesn't have it. So, yeah, Dolphins are going to be interesting. All right, last one, AJ.
Yep, let's do it.
The Bills.
Yes.
Are they the number one team in the AFC?
No, I don't think they are. I still do have the Chiefs at number one as right now. And then honestly, I think I go back and forth between the Bills and the Browns as well. I think the Browns look great. The Bills aren't going to have John Brown, which is going to hurt, but Brown is out for half the year last year anyway, so that's going to be okay. Gabriel Davis, where did he come from? Deep threat out of nowhere. Completely showed up the second half of the year. Proved everybody that he's a good deep ball receiver. I'm still not excited about their tight end room. Devin Singletary and Zach Moss, and now Matt Breida makes an even weirder running back core. And they didn't do much in free agency, partially because they got a lot of money tied up on that defense. Ed Oliver, Vernon Butler, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Tre'Davious White. I think this is a really good team again. They're ready to run it back. It's hard for me to pinpoint what they need to do on their team because it's a very similar looking team from last year. So I think number one, I'd say fix the run game. I'll say the run game was a mess last year. What did not complement Josh Allen well. But other than that, I don't know what to say about Bills.
Yeah, I think the big thing is the run game. I mean, they upgraded their defense. Josh Allen's great. I mean, it's too bad they got Mitchell Trubisky to back him up, but hey, that's all right.
Thank you very much.
Josh Allen's great. He's not one-dimensional, which is good. They have a good receiving core. Dude, I feel like both Singletary and Zach Moss could both be good.
Yeah.
But I just, especially Singletary.
Mm-hmm.
But it just nothing, they get a 20-yard gain, and then nothing the rest of the game. And it's just... Or it's just consistent 2-yard gains, and it's just they just don't know where to run. It just seems like, and that might be on coach, but I don't know, man.
Yeah,
the run game is what they need to upgrade now because they're looking like one of the most complete teams in the AFC. Yeah. All right, man. Well, that's a mega episode.
Yeah, back to back. It's interesting. We talked longer about the AFC, even though our teams are in the NFC. That makes no sense to me.
I don't know, man. Whatever. All right, well, Brett D, thank you for tuning in, commenting, and JT is a beast. We'll look forward to watching him. Oh, yeah. And AJ, unless you got anything else?
I'm pretty much wrapped up, Cade. I think I'm good.
All right, man. Well, that's AJ Herschel.
Oh, there you go.
Yes. This is so weird. I have to point the opposite way.
It is.
I'm Caedmon Bauer, and we'll see you next time on the one and only Allied Rivals podcast.
See ya.